Hey guys, Pastor Eric here with a devotional for the day. Um, I've been really thinking a lot about our personal integrity, and Joseph was the first guy that came to my mind. And if you go to Genesis 37 and pretty much all the chapters after that in the book of Genesis, you'll find his story. And it really starts out, if you ever read one of those stories that starts out one cold, dark, and rainy night, and then you know what's coming next is going to be these circumstances that are full of tension. Well, that's kind of the way it is with Joseph. We start reading, and the first thing it says is that he brought back to his father a bad report about his brothers. Well, you know what's going to come after that. It's not going to be good at all. And he's the favorite baby brother with the coat of many colors. He's having the dreams that separates him even above his mom and dad. And so there's just all this jealousy and tension. And well, it if you keep reading, his father sends him out again. His brothers are out there with the sheep doing their thing somewhere way out in the wilderness. His father sends him out on another journey to go check up on his brothers. Doesn't sound like it's going to turn out too good. I mean, this is a week-long journey that he goes on, and the dude's wearing a richly ornamented coat. Not exactly hiking clothes, if you ask me. When I go hiking, I put on the stuff, the hiking boots and the whatever. Well, he shows up after a week of trying to find his brothers and they see him coming from a distance with his richly ornamented coat, and you can imagine they are not happy to see him. He's the last person in the world that they wanted to see. Well, immediately they begin to plot to get rid of him. And if it weren't for Reuben and then Judah, he would have been dead. But they end up selling him to slave traders that are on their way to Egypt. And we'll get to that later, why they were up there and why they hung around and stayed, because there's another side story I want to tell you about tomorrow. But one real interesting thing about Joseph is you see that it says it doesn't record a single word that Joseph said. And you know that they viewed him as a spoiled brat, and in a way he kind of was. Now, his actual who he was, I don't question his genuineness or his heart, but they viewed him as a spoiled brat. They couldn't stand him. They had hatred in their heart for this guy. And when they were stripping him of his who he was, stripping him of his identity, his status symbol, they took his coat away from him, all these things that they did to him, there's not a single word of his own recorded in the scripture about what he said to speak up for himself or to resist. As far as we know, he didn't resist. We don't know exactly what he did. He didn't have a chance to. My question to you guys is, when we're faced with really crappy situations that question, who we are, our faith, we just find ourselves in a really tight spot. How do we react? Jesus says in Matthew and in Luke that it's out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So my question to you, what is the overflow of your heart? Where is your attitude? Are you cursing and running down people, even in your mind, when you don't have things happen that you like? Are you backing out and running away from problems? How do you deal with things? What's the overflow of your heart? That's my question for you. Or are you being a blessing to those around you, even despite horrible circumstances? So that's where I want you guys to think about this, especially in light of what was going on with Joseph. Go back and read his story and look at where he's at and where he comes from and how he reacts to the situation around him. And ask yourself, how do I react? Where's my heart? Because wherever your heart is, that's where your treasure is. So you guys have an awesome and blessed day.